Alright, so we're going to be talking about the degeneration of culture and its people. First of all, the people are divided. There's nothing really uniting the people anymore. In America, it used to be the nuclear family and the American dream and the Christian God. But it's dead and we fucking killed it. I kind of want to blame the Jews, but I'm not going to entirely blame the Jews. Now, in America, America is just a melting pot, a convergence point of a bunch of different cultures, people, and identities. I'm not saying that's an issue, but it does bring societal divide because the values connecting the people are no longer there. And as a result of the extreme amount of freedom people have in America, everyone's going their separate ways. Everyone's becoming a political extremist. Everyone's completely different from everyone else. Not an inherent issue, but it seems that we cannot have any civil discourse. There's two sides to this, as you already know in the political spectrum, the right and the left. I'm gonna not specify who, but there's a group of people who are largely controlled by their emotions, and as a result, they can't find any middle ground because one group is controlled on their emotions, and it's all rooted in that, which is complete at its core illogical, the antithesis of logic, while the other argues with logic, and there's no connect there. There's no understanding. So extremists on one half and extremists on the other half can't find a middle point. That that sounds kind of like it may or may not lead to a civil war. It all starts with the ideologies. If they can't agree, we're kind of fucked. And if it escalates further, we're kind of fucked. But there's nothing we can do much as a civilian. And to go back to the point about people being so guided by their emotions rather than logic, that's more of a how they were raised and a societal issue. Because the school system's becoming so leftist, they're in, they're perpetuating the idea that we should follow our emotions, be soft, and it there's no bad intent from there. However, it does lead to bad consequences. The kids, the people, the future generation are becoming too emotional. And you can't have emotional people running a country. It's not how it works. If you have emotional people running the country, you get like a bunch of fat people that are virtue signaling about blah blah blah, be like this, whatever your identity is, we're chill. Bunch of bullshit like that. Ever since the identity shit came, ever shit ever since identity shit came and sexual deviance became a big thing, the culture has degenerated because it's become completely full of instant gratification. I could almost draw parallels between that and Weimar Germany, aka the limbo zone between World War II and World War One in Germany, where degeneracy was an all-time high and a bunch of men rallied against that and recalled them the Nazis. Yes, sometimes they're bad guys, but that was a genuine reason to revolt. The I don't want to go into too much detail into that, but basically, the Jews, again, of course, they were promoting sexual deviance. Prostitution was open on the fucking streets. There were mother and daughter pairs, prostitutes on the streets. Fucking crazy. Like BDSM was basically started there. That's your crazy shit. And that would tie into our degeneracy part of things. And yet again, the people have never been so free. And since they've had so much choice and freedom of expression, which is inherently bad, it does bring a lot of potential negatives, and those potential negatives have been realized into reality. Even though it's just a small population, that could grow and has been growing, and the right has noticed such growth. And it's basically just how I classify degeneracy. Instant gratification. That's how I gratify it. It's sexual deviance, as you probably know, like one night stands, drinking, literally any substance, and or protesting just a fucking virtue signal. about what the ideal in your eyes would be. And ever since that, the, there's no, I guess, matter in those people. I'm not saying matter in the traditional sense of something like an atom, but when you look into those type of people that are degenerates, there's nothing behind those eyes. They're completely guided by their feelings. They're completely guided by, I guess, ideology that they never really thought about, but they only really believe because it feels good to believe and it confirms the things they already know and believe. AKA, well, once they got out of school, the bubble of school, they naturally went into a place where their beliefs that were instilled in school about their feelings and their identity and blah 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 are confirmed. They want an echo chamber. And to be fair, it kind of does sound like I'm describing both sides of the political spectrum. Who doesn't want an echo chamber, right? But I'm gonna keep hitting on the leftists for this just because they're so much more blatant about it. Just because once you ask them a couple of questions on the street, you get right past the veils of sanity and humanity into nothingness, which is like an empty black hole within them. Nothing behind those eyes. Like, have you seen the type of people that are, I guess, protesting for gender affirming care? Literally any of the LGBTQ bullshit? Those are low level human beings. Genuinely. Like, you have there's no substance for those type of people. There's no, there's nothing behind those eyes. And it's because, well, how do I describe this? It's because they've been taking in ideologies and substances that would lead them to Satan. That isn't the most precise description, but I think that'd be the easiest for me to, the easiest analogy for me to make. Yeah, they're getting closer and closer to Satan. And what's the origin of such? Why was there such a big push on identity and LGBTQ bullshit in the recent era with the coming of the Industrial Revolution and the printing press and the media and the internet? Who's pushing this? Why is it being pushed? Right, right. It's the Jews. Or is it? I don't know, guys. Do not take this seriously. This is a complete joke. I completely support DI. However, in Minecraft, the Jews, like, they had their own agenda. They've been in positions of power. They're in lots of positions of power. And throughout history, aka from Weimar Germany to now, yeah, there's parallels to be drawn. All right, the people are becoming low-level human beings with nothing behind their eyes, and just a lack of thought. Basically, they're being guided by who? Who knows? Don't know. This is Minecraft. Maybe the Minecraft villagers, but regardless of who's doing it and why they're doing it, the people are being less connected because of the extreme amount of different values that they have as a result of the different, ideologies being taught from this time to that time. And it seems that this new upspringing of ideology that enforces acceptance of the LGBTQ community and identity and, yeah, puts a big emphasis on all identity related shit. And why? And it's never really been a big concern of people ever since now. And Weimar Germany. It's more of a surrogate activity. It's not something we need to survive. It's just a thing people fucking do because they have time and they have their fundamental needs of survival met. But it feels good. It feels good to talk about it. It feels good to be on the street yelling about it. And that's their control mechanism. The instant gratification you feel from being validated and confirmed in your beliefs. That's how they get you. Through your feelings. And who is more likely to be controlled and managed via their feelings other than the people that were taught it in schools? AKA the new generation. AKA in the past 20, 30 years. Huh? I think you may be seeing a pattern. The new generation's fucked. These people that are being taught that in real time and genuinely believe it, which is actually a surprisingly low amount of people. But it's big enough for there to be protests among people of those ideology. And the cause. The cause, it all starts with ideology. You know, it's not like it actually. Never mind. I don't want to go down that route of absurdism and it not really mattering. But I just like to share information with you. And what I'm seeing right now is not very good. This is a repeating pattern within big empires that have fallen, or there's been a civil war of sorts. Basically, the culture degenerates first, or does it? I'm not really sure, but one of the biggest things that degenerate first is the culture and the people. As long as there is weak people in a weak culture and mass division amongst a lot of people, it's very easy to control. It's very easy to insert yourself as a power player. And I wonder who's doing that. There must be a purpose for all this push on DEI. All none of your skin colors matter as long as you're human. Blah blah blah. Which okay, on that point, I'm not exactly disagreeing, but you get my point. All right. There's a huge push on this type of stuff. And all you can really do is question why, who, what, blah, 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 how, where, when. But there is nothing we can do about it. All I can say is fucking prepare. There's a war coming. Whether it be a civil war, whether it be a slow one without much death, whether it be a really big one that happens chaotically and there is a bunch of death, you better fucking prepare. And how would you do that? The biggest thing would obviously be money. Literally just get rich and fuck out of America. Because this is a ticking fucking time bomb. The culture is exploding. The people are weakened more than ever fucking before. There's no. The conservative values in the nuclear family is fucking gone. You know? And as a result, that vacuum of tradition has been filled with the DEI and identity bullshit. All really based on your feelings. And when you have a country run by people that are running off feelings, you have a country that fucking falls. Very simple.